Let's go to Jeremy Corbyn, MP for Islington, north of your party. Jeremy Corbyn, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Matt. Hope it's a good one, but it's not started very well.
Well, no, exactly. And you knew Hugo Chavez. I think you've met Maduro and you're a friend of his or were a friend of his. What is your reaction to what's going on?
Well, I'm utterly appalled. So the idea that the US can talk about international law and order and rules-based systems whilst they bomb ships in the sea off the coast of Venezuela, now apparently bombing in Caracas and kidnapping the president. This is the behaviour of a cowboy state, not the behaviour of a member of the UN Security Council. So it needs to be condemned in the strongest possible terms. I hope the British government will do just that.
Yes. So what do you want and what do you expect Sir Keir Starmer to say today or tomorrow or the day after?
What I will hope he would say is that as a member of the UN Security Council, Britain will be calling for an immediate meeting of the Security Council so that they can discuss what's gone on, that the US can explain what it's done, and that Venezuela will have a chance to respond to it. And the idea that somehow or other the US can decide on its own volition which country to invade, which president to remove, which oil to steal, and which natural resources to steal has to be condemned. I hope the British government will, for once, stand up to the USA.
I don't know, I can't remember what, I think it was Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher at the time of the Noriega capture in 1990. I can't remember what she said to then President George H.W. Bush, but I can't imagine it to have been condemnation.
She certainly, as I recall, didn't particularly support it. She also was not very happy, but didn't say very clearly, the situation when the US invaded Grenada at the same time. And so I think we need to recognise this is not the first time the US has done this. As you said, they did it in Panama. I just mentioned Grenada. They also were behind the coup in Chile in 1973 and many other coups across Latin America. This is a reassertion of the Trump-Monroe Doctrine, which he republished at the end of November, which is an incredibly strong statement about the US believing it has an inalienable right to do anything it wishes in any what they call Western Hemisphere country, which obviously means all of Latin America. Is it next going to be Cuba that they go into, or what is next after this?
Well, it's possible. I mean, anything is possible now. Do you think that Keir Starmer has been too soft on Donald Trump in general?
I think he's tried to build a relationship with Donald Trump, which actually ends up being far too soft on him. And we are paying a price with the US involvement in healthcare in this country, which is something that I warned about during the 2019 election. So I do think this is an opportunity for the British government to say very clearly, if it does believe in international law, then clearly what the US has done is illegal. It is illegal to invade a country for regime change, as happened in the case of Iraq, and that has been widely condemned as a violation of international law.
And if you had campaigned as Labour leader more vociferously for staying inside the EU and we were still inside that club, do you think we'd now be in a stronger position to negotiate with someone like Donald Trump?
Well, the referendum took place. There was a vote to leave the EU. I believe that we should and could have obtained some kind of customs relationship with the EU after that. That wasn't achieved because Boris Johnson didn't want it. Would it make our position stronger or weaker? I don't think it would make an awful lot of difference at the moment. Britain is a member of the UN Security Council, one of the permanent members, as is France, and I think it's that scenario that should be followed immediately. I hope the European Union condemn what the US has done, but nothing has come out so far that I've seen anyway.
OK. Jeremy Corbyn, MP for Islington North of the Your Party. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Chris, final voice of the programme. Chris in Richmond, you're on the air.
Good morning, Matt. Well, Jeremy Corbyn, fine. Yes, the US hasn't exactly behaved brilliantly. But what about when Maduro was locking up political prisoners? You know, thousands of them in some cases, the leader of the opposition.
I think it was 800 political prisoners that John Lee Anderson, who knows the country very well, talked about. Yeah, I mean, no one is describing Maduro as a gentle Democrat, that's for sure.
Well, not just that, but he destroyed I was there 10, 12 years ago, and they were still under Chavez.
Yeah.
You know, and then people were giving up babies for adoption. People were eating Russian food in the market.
It's a basket case. Yeah, it's a terrible country that's been run into the ground. Yeah.
It is. I mean, obviously, equally, my wife's Argentina. We spent a lot of time there. The risk is that Trump is trying to influence politics by throwing the money around at those countries he likes and then clearly trying to oust those he doesn't like. We don't necessarily want that. But let's be clear what the starting point is. Millions and millions of people, I think 8 million have left Venezuela.
Yeah.
Up to the middle of 2025. I've got friends who live in this country down the road from me who will not even go and see their families because they're scared they're going to get kidnapped at the airport. Because then when they say they're arriving, people will rob them. You drive from the city airport into the city centre in Caracas, miles and miles of shanty towns, and the risk is you get carjacked and killed.
I know.
I mean, it's a very dangerous city. It's the one place I've been on business where I would not want to go back as long as I live. So I think we have to be very, very rose-tinted about how fantastic Maduro has been. You know, it's not been great, and I don't think
anyone is saying that, frankly. I can see, I think, some of them right now on Venezuelan television wearing their flak jackets and helmets, you know, rather like Zelensky did after the Russian invasion, saying, we're still here, we're still in charge. What will they do? You know, will they try and consolidate whatever power they've got left? And will the Americans carry on bombing, or will Trump just lose interest, as he often does? Chris in Richmond, thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you. Thanks for coming on the programme. Thanks to all of my callers and guests. It's been an absolute cracker of a programme. It's not a dull day, is it? January the 3rd, 2026. The year started with a bang, as they say.